Hello and welcome to PaperDaisyJournals. It's Kylie. I have Rosie the journal to show you today. She is a real beauty, very pink, very rosy. My friend Victoria on Instagram helped me name this journal. It's been a little while in finishing, but I'm finally there, so that's pretty exciting. Okay, so Rosie is A5 sized, 2 signatures, which is about nearly 80 pages to journal on, varying sizes. There's some decorating and things like that, but if you're new to my channel, I try to create journals that have some writing space and some decoration for inspiration. So Rosie, I hope, is a good combination of that. I have closed her with a beautiful hand-dyed silk ribbon, so that's completely detachable, obviously. And I've also used a doily as her cover entirely, so it wraps all the way around. There is some overhang, but I just love that because I think as you fill the journal with all your beautiful things, she will sort of expand nicely, sort of expansion options there. On the back cover here, I have a handmade paper die cut butterfly from my friend Heather, and the colour just matched in beautifully. I've drawn the antennae in, and that's just glued with permanent glue, so it should stay. On the spine, I've used some beautiful antique beads, just with that sort of crisscross pattern, so she will look quite pretty sitting on a shelf. And then on the front here, I have used a vintage rose applique, and I didn't stitch it on. This is just glued because I wanted to keep that light feeling, and I think sometimes I overstitch and it makes things a bit heavier. There's also quite a lot of stitching already on the cover, and I didn't want to compete with that. But what I did do, because I just add extra things, I have this beautiful glass heart-shaped bead here with a rose design on the front of it, and it's on the back as well. That is just pinned with a safety pin to the cover, so if you wish, you can remove that and use it somewhere else in the journal, make a little charm. I have there's, you know, typical ruffles, bits and pieces, and a beautiful this is a natural pearl. It's colored a light pink, and I just think it's like a pink oyster. All these ruffles just look like a little pretty pink oyster with that pearl in the middle there. The cover is quite flexible. It's padded, but it's flexible, so it should wrap really nicely, as I was saying, when you add all of your things to it. So inside here, and I just like to have a little pause, because this, when I watch a journal flip through, this is my favorite part. I love the cover because, you know, that really inspires you, but I find that that first opening is just, it's a point of drama in the journal making sort of filming world, I think. So I do like to sort of play on that a little by adding, you know, lots of details. I have lined the inside of the journal with modern fabric. I just love the big spots, and it was the right tone of pink to go with the cover. This is a vintage fabric pocket with lace. There's a similar pocket on the back cover, and I've used one of my collaged pages from a digital kit, and they will all be, the links will be in the description below, but I've just cut a tag shape out of the page, so I've printed it onto light card. I've double-sided with the pastel pink wallpaper page from that kit, and I've just put a silk bow at the top This is from my Vintage Linen 2 kit, so I've used that throughout as well, just for a little bit of detail and interest. And I have stuck some beautiful antique lace down the bottom. So not a difficult tag to make, but I think it has a nice impact, some nice layers. This is a page from the same kit, and I've got a little butterfly here, pink butterfly. This is some vellum and that 3D rose Tim Holtz embossing folder, and I've just very lightly used a pink ink to sort of highlight the details there. And this is a silk chiffon ruffle here that I've hand dyed. That is also from the Pastel Pink Kit. Beautiful piece of handmade paper, embossed paper there, and the colours are just perfect. And I did a little ruffle, and if I do a ruffle that doesn't quite go to the edge, I like to sort of tuck the ends in. I don't know why, because I want it to look like I did it on purpose, I guess, and I just didn't run out of ribbon, which I've done before, and hoped to get away with. But so that's just sort of something that I've just do, and I decided it needed something in the middle, so I've just stitched on a mother of pearl button, and I've tied it at the front and turned it into a little bow. This is a card from my Frames and Cards Antique Frames kit, and I've just cut a circle out and put a layer of lace in there just for something a bit tactile. And on the back is just some beautiful pink textured paper, so stitched onto the back, little bit of shabbying around the edge, and I just think that's a pretty way of using those antique frames. I have used avocado dyed paper. This is a fussy cut flower from my, I should call it the Lazy Fussy Cutters kit, because I painstakingly searched for the simplest blooms where there wasn't a lot that needed to be cut out to sort of, have it completely cut, fussy cut. And that's just on a vintage order form there. Haley, one of Haley's beautiful hand painted blossoms on some vintage paper. That is a French flash card, some gorgeous vintage wallpaper, some beautiful antique rickrack, and this is a wallpaper tag. It is original wallpaper, sort of just a simple collage and one of those little images from the Vintage Linen kit, and some beautiful silk ribbon at the top there. And that is on a ledger, and I've just folded that over. It's a tuck spot, but you can actually just glue that down completely and write on that page too if you would like. A bow here at the top, and this is from the Pastel Pink Kit. That's a really good kit just to do double-sided printing if you don't want too much sort of pattern, sort of heavy patterns. And here I have a little Tim Holtz paper clip and a beautiful vintage wallpaper tag with another of those little snippets, and that's a beautiful piece of antique trim down the bottom there. So that's also another simple tag. This is one of my envelopes. I use a hanky and some Lokta paper, and that's handmade Nepalese paper, and it has a beautiful texture to it. I've used that as a page in this journal, and that's avocado dyed. So I've just machine stitched around there, so that's just held on with the paper clip. And up the top here, because I have stitched that bow on the other side, I decided rather than just having like a little knot there, that I would make that a bow as well. So it's a double-sided bow, but I thought that it sort of adds a little bit of cuteness to this page as well, and that is a printable page. This is a gorgeous Belgian telegram, and I just love the pastel colors. So this would be a wedding telegram, because obviously that's a wedding party or an engagement party. I've left that blank for journaling, and I have some beautiful eyelet, French eyelet there. And here is another fussy cut. I haven't quite gotten to the point of X-Acto knifing or using a blade. Me and blades, well, we don't have a very good relationship. I'm sure you have seen me stab myself. If you've been a subscriber for a while, I did have some tutorials, but there was quite a lot of stabbing with needles by accident, but same place every time. So I'm very hesitant in my fussy cutting journal journey to get a blade involved, but I will. I'm sure I will. I've just put a little tab at the top here just to sort of pull this spread in. So there's the three sort of features. Here is one of the embroidered postcards that I've shrunk down in the kit, and I've just shabbied the edge. And that is a tuck spot there with the tab on the top. And on this side, I had a piece of lace. For some reason, I do glue the inside of these sorts of pockets where you flip them up, but they always seem to pucker on me, and I find that quite annoying. So this time I did a little flexible sort of tab to turn it into a pocket, so it won't pucker because there's some movement at the side there. So I thought that was a little bit clever because I did want this to be a pocket on this side. This is another one of the frames from my kit, and I've just glued vellum on the back. So I've cut the window out, glued vellum on the back. I've backed it with some beautiful pink paper, and then just machine stitched it around the edge. And this is a beautiful handmade paper embossed tag, and that was a Will's cigarette card, but I've actually fussy cut the rose, and that also has the same pink paper on the back of the tag. So this is a floating pocket. You could easily have this somewhere else in the journal. Obviously, you know, the idea is that you can move the ephemera around. I do enjoy putting the ephemera in a journal at the end, but when I get a journal, I usually take all the ephemera out, and I spend quite a lot of time finding the perfect spot for it, which is probably the same spot that the creator had chosen, but that's my little process of sort of coming to know a journal. Lace pocket, and this is another one of those tags I've cut from the collaged page, and a little image I've stuck on there from the vintage linen kit, and some daisy trim because they are daisies. And this is a really sweet padded heart or quilted heart charm. I've just hand stitched around the edge and turned it into a little charm. I typically put bigger ones as closures on the front of a journal, but I had sort of little snippets and I didn't want to waste the vintage quilt, so I've turned some of them into little heart dangles, which I think are really cute. This is a book page, and I've just turned that into a pocket there and put a little butterfly because that just adds another dimension to that page, and that's the other side of the telegram. This is from the digital kit, And I've just put a beautiful silk ruffle down the side there. That's the Pastel Pink Kit. You might think, well, what kit? I've actually forgotten what it's called. I think it's the Rose Garden. It's the Rose Garden Kit. I didn't forget it. It's a Rose Garden Kit. So the collage tags are from the Rose Garden Kit. And I think I've also used the English Cottage Garden Kit in this journal. Okay, so we'll move on from that now. That's another one of the embroidered postcards, and I've just double-sided that with the Pastel Pink Kit. I use the Pastel Pink Kit quite a lot for double-siding. It's also got an avocado dyed page because my printer doesn't like, it has to have everything perfectly flat. It's a little bit annoying. So I just do a faux avocado die on the back of a decorated page. Some beautiful antique lace ruffled there and some of Hayley's gorgeous blooms. Some fussy cut flowers there. On this page, some of that beautiful wallpaper, and I've just tucked a Victorian calling card, May Grimes, and it is embossed, so it has some texture. But I just really liked the green and how it sort of matched in. And this is avocado dyed paper because you can see that there's texture, but I've just sewn on but also glued one of these little heart appliques. It's from a trim, and I just cut the individual hearts out, and that's again the little bow on the other side rather than a knot. And this is from the Pastel Pink Kit as well, and that is from the other kit. Anyway, I've forgotten it again. I frustrate myself so much sometimes. Anyway, fuzzy cut flower, the camellia, that's a little lizard, a camellia. I've got off the rails now. Okay, reset. This is a beautiful velvet ruffle here on some Lochta paper. This is also another trim that I've just stuck on here because I just felt that there wasn't enough going on. And this is another little shrunk down embroidered postcard from the Frames and Cards kit. This is some legal ledger from 1898. And the handwriting is just beautiful. Imagine scribing in a courtroom and with that sort of flourished handwriting, how quick you would have to be. Maybe people spoke slower in those days. I'm not sure. I just love bows. So I've just put this one here because you can sort of see it popping out the top, and it adds a beautiful layer. And these pages you can write on, but best to sort of write on an angle and using sort of like a black pen. This is a wax seal down the bottom here, and that beautiful dotty paper. This is a gorgeous embroidered, it's eyelet because they are sort of little holes where the flowers are. But I've avocado stained that, so it was white. But when you sort of have eyelet trim, if you do a very light dye, you can see the design a little more. This was from Emily's shop. And this is a wallpaper tag with another one of those snippets and some beautiful bobbin lace at the bottom. And I've pinned the little pearl there. I just love the simplicity, the simple beauty of these little freshwater pearls. This is another frame, so another way of using it, obviously. You know, people have done that before, but I just thought that was kind of a cute little sort of peekaboo. with a fussy cut flower, and I've just used a dotty washi tape to stick that on. A belly band here. These are actually meant to be stylized butterflies, and in the belly band I have die cut a heart and stamped the rose. I've also dyed the paper so it is a bit sort of crinkly. This is some gorgeous handmade paper from Heather with a gold fleck and just antique trim, and one of those little images there with some silk ribbon at the top. And I just thought that just sat beautifully in that belly band there. Gorgeous book page. And this is another printable kit page, and I have made a little paper clip here, and I've just tied it. I'm not very good at tying bows, even though I love them. They always twist around, but I've tied a little bow onto that dyed gauze, and this is another one of my hanky envelopes with the Locta paper. Beautiful rose hanky for that one. I've not put anything in the envelopes, that sort of space I think that you can put something special. And a little butterfly on some of Hayley's blossoms, and this is some vintage ledger, a antique postcard, and I've just made that into a tuck spot, and I've kept that simple because I really love that postcard, and I think it just needed a nice frame. This inside, this is a page from a beautiful antique fashion book. So they used to wear the most exquisite gowns, and they would change 4 times a day because they would have a gown for every occasion. I find it fascinating. So that's the center page there. Another fussy cut flower. I just tried some Posca pen. It's an acrylic paint pen just to sort of tone down the white. I'm not sure about that. I think I do need to do some more intricate fussy cutting. I will do it. I promise, next time. Next time. It will always be next time, or I just won't mention it again. I don't like to have sort of leftover bits, so any little snippets I like to use, and that was just a really cute little rose there on a printable kit. That's the other side of the page, little bunnies, and some beautiful moths on that side. A nice I've avocado dyed that trim. It's usually bright white, and another little blossom there, and some more fussy cutting with the Posca paint, and beautiful lace trim from Emily's shop. And I've just tucked one of these that avocado dyed paper on the back, and this is pink paper that I've embossed with that 3D folder, and I did go over it very lightly with some ink just to bring out the embossing, but I think next time I will just leave it pink because it kind of looked like pink marble, had a marble effect. I still really like it with the aging sort of, but that's a little pocket that you can pop something special inside. And that spotty, I do have a thing for spots. Spotty paper from the kit and a silk ruffle there. And that's the other side. That's another collage page in the Cottage Garden kit that you can cut into big tags. Some more of that rose wallpaper journal entry. I thought that was quite cool to have that there. And I folded that over. So that is a tuck spot in there as well. And some butterflies on the back page. I thought that was really pretty. That's a little nod to Victoria, friend. Not sure if I said at the start, a friend Victoria on Instagram helped me name this journal Rosie. So that's a little nod to Victoria because she is really into butterflies. And that's the pocket there with the antique lace. And that's another of those collaged tags I've just cut out from the page. Beautiful trim and some, you know, distress seam binding. So that just slips in there. And that is Rosie. She's a very pretty gal, very pink, very pretty. And I'm not sure, I'm hoping to have a few things in my shop next week. We'll see how that goes. So I will update in the description as to the status of Rosie, when she's available, and whether she has been sold. So please check that. And I do, I put updates on Instagram because it's easier, because it's instant. It's instant, otherwise called Instagram. So yes, so at this point in time, I'm not sure with the postal services. I think I have a bit of a window because they've had our city, Sydney, in lockdown for a long time now, which is hard. It's hard on people, especially those who have lost their jobs. And they're going to open Sydney back up and lift restrictions, but we are a sort of holiday/resort town, so we are going to get absolutely flooded with people. So I may not be emerging from my house for a few months, to be really honest. So I think there's a window of opportunity where I can put a lot of things in my shop and get them in the post haste. And then I'm going to be going into a voluntary isolation with my little boy. So yes, we'll see how that goes. Okay, yes, all the drama is at the end of the video. I don't like to have those things at the start. I just sort of keep it to the end because, you know, I don't want to mention doom and gloom. Because everything is pretty and pink and shabby chic. That's what I like my channel to be about. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you like Rosie, and welcome to the new subscribers. I just, you know, it's so wonderful to have people actually watching my videos. Anyway, I suppose that's the point of making them, but, you know, you put stuff out there and you just hope for the best. So thank you very much for all your beautiful comments, those people who always comment. It just makes your heart shine. It lifts your spirits. As a creative person, we're very hard on ourselves. Yes, so anyway, stop babbling. All right. Okay, thank you and bye.